It is Tuesday, 9:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are sitting at your desk. You click a link to refresh your email. The loading bar stops halfway. You wait 5 seconds. You click refresh again. Nothing happens. You check your phone. The Wi-Fi icon is gone, replaced by LTE, but nothing is loading there either. You assume it's a router glitch. You stand up to reset the modem, but you don't know that 3,000 miles away, in the cold depths of the Atlantic Ocean, a coordinated series of detonations has just severed 14 major fiber-optic cables. At the exact same moment, a hyper-sophisticated malware strain has executed a kill command on the root DNS servers in Virginia, Amsterdam, and Tokyo. This is not a lag spike. This is not an outage. This is the event. The backbone of modern civilization has just been snapped. And you are about to witness the systematic collapse of the United States, not over decades, but over the next 365 days. Welcome to the simulation. To understand why your life is about to end as you know it, you first have to understand the lie you've been told about the internet. You think of it as a cloud, an ethereal, invisible network that exists everywhere. That is a marketing lie. The internet is physical. It is fragile. It is purely mechanical. 99% of all international data travels through wires, glass strands no thicker than a human hair, wrapped in steel and rubber, laying on the ocean floor. There are only about 500 of these cables powering the entire global economy. They are the jugular veins of the world, and in this scenario, those veins have been cut. When those cables sever, the handshake fails. This is the technical term for the signal acknowledgement between banking ledgers in New York and London. When the handshake fails, the SWIFT banking system doesn't just pause, it locks down. By 9:30 a.m., 16 minutes after the cut, the automated trading algorithms on Wall Street realize they are shouting into a void. The high-frequency trading bots, which execute millions of trades per microsecond, trigger a liquidity freeze. They pull all orders. The stock market doesn't crash, it simply ceases to exist. Let's shift your perspective. You aren't just an observer, you are part of the machine. In this simulation, you are Marcus. You are a regional logistics coordinator for a major shipping hub in Memphis, Tennessee. You are the heart of the American supply chain. At 9:45 a.m., you are standing on the sorting floor. It is usually a symphony of noise. Conveyor belts whirring, scanners beeping, automated carts moving packages. But right now, it is dead silent. The handheld scanners held by your 300 employees have all turned into useless bricks. These scanners rely on cloud-based inventory management systems hosted on servers that are currently unreachable. You have 400 semi-trucks waiting at the docks. Every single one of them requires a digital manifest to leave the gate. Federal law dictates that you cannot move hazardous materials, food, or medical supplies without that digital paper trail. A driver walks up to you. He's hauling 20 tons of refrigerated insulin and antibiotics. He asks you, "Boss, do I go?" You look at your screen. It's black. You look at the manual overrides, but the gate release is controlled by a central server in Atlanta. You cannot open the gate. The insulin is sitting in a trailer that has fuel for the refrigeration unit for exactly 24 hours. This is the moment the just-in-time delivery system dies. Just-in-time is the efficiency model that runs the modern world. Grocery stores do not keep weeks of food in the back. They keep about 3 days' worth on the shelves, counting on trucks to arrive every single morning. Those trucks are now paralyzed in your lot. By 12 p.m. on day one, the confusion has turned into a strange, low-level anxiety. You try to pay for a coffee with Apple Pay. It fails. You try your credit card. The card reader can't contact the bank. Declined. You think, "I'll just get cash." You walk to the ATM. Here is the reality of the banking system. ATMs are dumb terminals. They need to talk to the mothership. The screen reads, "Connection error." By sunset on day one, millions of Americans are realizing they have exactly zero purchasing power. Their net worth is a number on a screen they cannot see, accessible by cards that no longer work. The only people with money are the ones with physical bills in their pockets right now. Day 3. The silence breaks. The internet is not just about memes and email. It is the command and control system for modern infrastructure. Without remote monitoring, the The pressure regulation systems for city water supplies and the frequency balancing for the electrical grid have to be managed manually. But the real crisis on day 3 is the breakdown of social order. Without Google Maps, Waze, or GPS, interstate travel has become a nightmare. People trying to flee cities are clogging highways, running out of gas, and abandoning cars in the middle of the road because gas station pumps are also digital. They are locked. Station owners are protecting their fuel reserves with shotguns, accepting only silver, gold, or exorbitant amounts of cash. Back in Memphis, Marcus is watching the catastrophe unfold. The refrigerated trucks ran out of fuel yesterday. The insulin is spoiled. The produce is rotting. The smell of decaying meat is beginning to fill the warehouse. His drivers have abandoned the trucks to walk home to their families. By day 7, the rule of 3 kicks in. You can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. But society? Society is only 3 meals away from anarchy. Grocery shelves are bare. The looting began on day 4, but now it is organized. Gangs are targeting distribution centers. The police are overwhelmed. Their communication systems, often relying on VoIP or digital trunking, are patchy. 911 is effectively down in 80% of the country. If someone kicks in your door tonight, no one is coming to help you. Information has become the most valuable commodity. Rumors are spreading that this is a nuclear war, or an alien invasion, or a government coup. Without the internet to verify facts, conspiracy theories become reality. The president tries to use the emergency broadcast system, but without the digital repeaters that feed local TV and radio stations, the message only reaches a fraction of the population. The United States is fracturing into isolated city-states. Day 30. The timeline shifts from crisis to collapse. You are now living in a 19th century reality with 21st century weapons. The executive branch has triggered Executive Order 13603, the National Defense Resources Preparedness Order. This allows the government to confiscate all food, water, and fuel resources. The National Guard is deployed to secure the remaining food stockpiles. Rationing is enforced. You stand in line for 6 hours to receive a bag of rice and 2 gallons of water. But the most terrifying aspect of day 30 is the digital amnesia. Hospitals are failing. Modern medicine is entirely digital. Your medical history, your allergies, your blood type, it was all on a server. Doctors are operating blind. Pharmacists don't know who needs what medication. People with chronic conditions, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, are beginning to die in massive numbers. The mortality rate spikes by 400%. The sanitation system fails next. Waste treatment plants use SCADA systems, supervisory control and data acquisition, often connected to the web for remote management. Without these, or the spare parts ordered through automated supply chains, the pumps seize. Sewage begins to back up into the streets of New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Cholera and dysentery, diseases we thought we defeated a century ago, return. By month 6, the population of the United States has dropped by 15%. Not from war, but from starvation, lack of medicine, and cold. Winter has arrived. The power grid has fractured. While the plants can generate power, the automated market that distributes electricity across the grid has failed. We have a grid split. Texas is dark. The eastern seaboard is on a rolling blackout schedule, 2 hours of power every 2 days. You are burning furniture to stay warm. You haven't seen a banana, a coffee bean, or a piece of chocolate in half a year. Global trade has stopped. Globalization is dead. If it isn't made within walking distance, you don't have it. But here is the twist. This is the part of the simulation that no one talks about. The long-term consequence that is worse than the hunger. Let's say, at the 1-year mark, the engineers finally fix it. The cables are spliced. The root servers are scrubbed and rebooted. The lights on the modem turn green. The internet comes back. You sit down at your dusty computer. You turn it on. You go to your bank's website. It's empty. The data didn't just become inaccessible. The corruption that caused the crash, or the electromagnetic degradation from servers sitting unpowered and unmaintained for a year, has caused massive data corruption. This is the financial event horizon. Who owns your house? The deed was digital. Who owes you money? The ledger is gone. The national debt deleted. Your credit score vanished. We assume that if the internet comes back, the world goes back to normal. It doesn't. The ownership of everything in the 21st century was a digital token. Without that verified data, private property rights collapse. You are standing in your house, but the bank has no record of your mortgage. That sounds great until you realize you have no record of your savings. The pension funds are wiped out. The stock market has no memory of who owned Apple or Amazon. The dollar, which relies on the faith and credit of the United States and the digital velocity of money, is worthless. We revert to a hard asset economy: gold, silver, ammunition, land, and seeds. The United States, that emerges from the darkness after year one, is not a unified republic. It is a collection of feudal territories. The federal government has lost legitimacy because it could not provide the one thing a government is supposed to provide: stability. Trust has been deleted. We built our entire civilization, our economy, our supply chains, and our identities on a foundation of silicon and light. We assumed it was permanent, but it was just a switch. And someone, somewhere, can always flip the switch. So look at your screen right now. Look at the data streaming to your device. It feels solid. It feels real. But it is the most fragile thing in your life. If the screen went black right now, how many days could you survive? Do you have paper copies of your deeds? Do you have cash? Do you have a map? Tell me in the comments, if the internet died today, what is the first thing in your house that would stop working, and how would that kill you?